Prop 50, we need y'all to vote yes. California, we need y'all to get in there and do y'all's big one between now and next week. We need y'all to get in there and vote yes. Because as we sat back and we watched what happened in Texas, and then we had to sit back and watch what happened in North Carolina, and there wasn't shit that we could do about it because, like we have said, Republicans are out here playing long game. They're using antiquated laws. They are doing any and everything to make sure that they keep those seats. We need y'all to vote yes. And as we sit back and we saw that Gavin Newsom allowed for this to be on the ballot so that you all had the opportunity to vote on this, is a thing. However, right now, so many are upset about the reparations bills that he has vetoed. And while we understand that there's a time and there's a motherfucking place, and this ain't it. But y'all, I understand, how angry we can be in regards to this. Yes, AB 7, AB 57, AB 62, AB 742, and the likes. But there's a time and there's a place. And the fact of the matter is, you have people like Angela Rye that are trying to hold that man's feet to the fire right now. And this is how we fucked up the group project when it came to Kamala, because it was so many of y'all that just had to have those damn think pieces like right then and there, because, you just had to hold her feet to the fire. You had to just, because you heard this, you heard that, or you didn't agree with this, you didn't agree with that. This is never a thing to say you cannot criticize politicians, because all means we're never going to agree with everything that they say. You shouldn't. However, there's a time and there's a place when, you have politics that has been forever gatekept from folks that they thought that they couldn't understand it. They thought that they, weren't allowed certain entities into learning what this policy and what this process is. And now that people are paying attention and, you all are putting these things out here, again, that's not to say not to criticize that man, but there's a time and there's a motherfucking place. Because you're going to have people who are going to be confused and thinking that, oh, well, if he did this, then maybe I should not vote for a measure that he put in place. Now, that's not to say that people can't walk and chew gum. That's not to say that you can't have 18 tabs open in your brain. However, we are in uncharted, unprecedented times where people's nervous systems are in overdrive and they can barely think because they're in autopilot, because they're in survival mode, because sometime next week, some of these people may not be able to eat. This is not the time nor the place. By all means, like I said, hold his feet to the fire, because we're not going to act like that man does not have the presidency in his forethought, and that, there won't be other times to question him about why he made the decisions that he made. But here's the thing, as you question him in this point, and then you try to make it seem like, oh, well, y'all act like I can't, question the white man. Nobody fucking said that at all. But what we are saying is the fact that some people do have a one-track mind, and that's what we're all trying to stay just collectively right now, because we saw how, that was fucked up, and we're not trying to do that shit again, because some of y'all, as one creator said, can't separate the artist from the music, because some of y'all don't know if y'all want to play that R. Kelly record, or don't know the difference between Bill Cosby and Heathcliff Huxtable, or whether or not you're going to watch that Woody Allen movie, or you're going to continue to watch your nostalgic Nickelodeon shows. See how I wrap that up together? Again, there's a time and a motherfucking place for shit. And when we have so much riding on people getting in those ballot booths and doing their big one, meaning they are voting yes for Prop 50 and taking their, their disdain for Gavin, because let's be clear, we know who that man is. We done already seen all the other bullshit. But that's just not the time to talk about that shit right now for likes, shits and giggles, or, political prowess, or whatever the case. Because she's like, oh, well, we have to maintain our political position and what have you. There's a time and a motherfucking place. Because like I said, we saw the fumble that we did when we had Kamala on ready. And now look, we are all sitting here trying to figure out how we're going to help our neighbors, how we're going to help, students be able to navigate these uncharted territories and being able to eat. And some people, housing and all the things that we are experiencing right at this moment. Let's not make it fucking worse. And like I always tell y'all, make sure that your registration is up to date. Make sure that your ID is up to date. Make sure you are paying attention to your local elections, because those are the shits that matter the most. But also understanding, as we are watching this shit happen, there's a time and there's a place. And that's not saying to never hold these politicians' feet to the fire. But again, when you have so much riding on one thing, because Don't act like they're not playing long game and they're not waiting to gut that damn act that allows Black people, that allows women to vote. This is not the time nor the place. We got to level the playing field, which means sometimes we just got to hold on until they come off the stage. Then fuck the money up. America's not a real place. And like I said, make sure y'all paying attention to these local elections.
Like and subscribe to Mom's channel.